This kid pulled a prank that caused the school so much trouble. And nobody ever found out it was him. It starts with him at a dollar store. He finds these bottles of concentrated bubble bath soap. This looks fun. Like a tiny amount of this stuff would make a ton of foam. This gives me an idea. So he buys a bunch of them, fills his entire gym bag. Now this kid knows the school's layout. He knows where all the cameras are. He knows where their cameras aren't. So one weekend he sneaks inside the building. We're in. He makes it secretly all the way to the pool. The school pool. Looks around, it's empty. Obviously, it's like 10 p.m. on a Saturday. He unzips his bag and he just starts dumping this bubble bath soap into the pool. Bottle after bottle. Then he just leaves. He doesn't stick around. Didn't even wait to see what happened. Well, flash forward to Monday. He gets to school, and there's literally foam everywhere, bursting through doors, filling the hallways. The entire pool room has foam up to the ceiling. Yo. The principal's freaking out. Cancel school! This is an emergency! The kids are laughing. The entire school is talking about this. But here's the thing that this kid did not think about. That foam doesn't just sit there. It gets into the filtration system, to the tubes, the pipes. The entire pool had to be shut down for weeks. It had to be drained, rinsed, and drained like 4 times to make sure all the soap was gone. The biggest problem is that school was known for its water sports, so the polo team and the swim team had to change their entire schedules and share pools with different schools. And the craziest part, this kid didn't even tell anybody. The situation was so bad he couldn't even brag about it to his friends, so he just stayed silent. Until now. The most uncomfortable dinner ever, so this kid gets invited to his friend's house for dinner. Everyone's sitting at the table and the drinks are poured. This kid said that he wants, milk please. He gets poured milk, everyone else gets poured their drinks, and they start to eat dinner. But then he takes a sip of his milk. But the entire table stops eating and stares at him. The dad slowly looks at him, dead serious. In this house, we do not drink until you finish your meal. Wait, he repeats himself. In this house, we do not drink until we finish our meal. He's like, okay, yep, got it. Will not drink my milk until my meal's gone. He was horrified. Hey, bro, you should apologize to my dad. Seriously? Yes. I'm really sorry, sir. Once they were all done eating, his friend's dad tried to punish him. He said, because of what you did at dinner, I want you to take your shoes off and run 3 laps around the house. Mind you, it was freezing cold outside and there was snow on the ground. This kid just said, no, I am not doing that. He called his mom picked him up, she told her what happened, and he never went there ever again. What kind of dad does that? This family is so weird. So this kid gets invited over to his friend's house, and it's a normal day at first. We were swimming and hanging out. It was whatever. But the setup to the house is already weird. To get to the backyard pool, you have to walk straight through the parents' bedroom. And on the walls of the bedroom, it was just pictures of my friend's mom. Hundreds of them. In different costumes. Hundreds of framed pictures all over the walls. In a cowboy costume. In an Elmo costume. In a horse costume where she was the head of the horse and his dad was the butt. So he's already like, yeah, this house is weird. But it gets worse. Later that day, they all go inside. And the friend's mom goes, okay, who wants some ice cream? I was like, heck yeah, I love ice cream. She scoops the vanilla into the bowl and hands it to him. But then she grabs a bottle from the fridge and says, do you want ranch on it? I didn't know how to answer, but I assumed it was a joke, so I just laughed and said, no, I'm okay. She just looks confused. And then her son, this kid's friend, says, I'll take some, Mom. Dude, it's so much better with ranch on it. Then the dad walks in, he grabs a bowl. Oh, this looks good. Who's got the ranch? I'm just sitting there watching them all eat vanilla ice cream with ranch on it, and they're looking at me like I'm the weird one. Hey, I never went back to that house ever again. This one dude in this one class was huge. Tall, wide, and the way he would eat food was an operation. I know what I like. He would show up to class with a full row of cookies, 20-something, and he would stack them perfectly on one side of his desk. Then the system began. He would take one bite from the top cookie and put it to the right side of his desk. The next cookie, one bite, then on top of the cookie that's on the right side of his desk. Then the next, then the next, down the entire row. Each cookie with exactly one bite out of it, stacked on top of each other. When the whole tower has migrated to the right side, he didn't stop. He would just restart the cycle. A new bite off the top cookie moved to the left side of the desk. Then the other one. A new bite, then stacked on top of the cookie on the left side of the desk. Do you get what I'm saying here? Cookie, bite, stack, cookie, bite, stack. And he keeps restarting this process. Well, 15 minutes of rhythmic biting and stacking later, the entire tower of cookies was just gone. Desk wiped clean, 0 crumbs, like it never happened in the first place. And obviously, everyone in class saw him do this, but it was so strange and so weird that nobody ever said anything to him. That's nuts. This class did not want to take this test, so they faked a police phone call. Senior year was advanced chemistry. Only 13 students in this class. It's test day. Everybody's stressed, so they come up with a plan. Before the test starts, the valedictorian raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom really quick, please? Boom, he's allowed to go. Instead of the bathroom, he goes to this old private stairwell, and he calls the front office. Hi, this is Officer Johnson from the police department. I need to talk to the chemistry teacher, please. The front office panics, calls the teacher down. Oh, okay. Be back, students. The teacher grabs the keys, leaves the room. The second he's gone, the class moves around like a pit crew. They blow up balloons. They pull out a grocery store birthday cake. Streamers. Party hats on everybody. Full birthday setup in under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, in the office, hello, blah, 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 Mickey Mouse. And he sprints back to the classroom. The teacher then walks back into the classroom. They all shout, surprise, happy birthday. The teacher is then like, that is so nice, but it's not my birthday. But it didn't matter. The cake gets cut, everyone eats it, and the test gets postponed 1 week. That is absolutely brilliant. It's testing week at this one middle school. Normally, kids have the Chromebooks open all day during class, or they're using the school iPad. And as you can imagine, the kids have TikTok tabs open, they're playing games, YouTube is paused somewhere. Well, this week, the teacher says, no Chromebooks or iPads all week this week. The kids are like, what? She then says, we're just gonna be watching movies. Now, when I was in school, that would be the best thing you could hear. There'd be cheering. But this room goes tense. So we're just gonna sit here and stare at nothing? Miss, we're gonna be so bored. This is stupid. Yeah, this is actually messed up. They then start calling the teacher horrible names. You're a frickin' loser, idiot. Piece of crap. Yeah, I hope you die. It escalates and escalates. One kid flips a desk. Enough! The teacher then grabs the school police liaison. He comes in and shuts this entire debauchery down. Every student in that class gets into big trouble because what the heck is the matter with them? Are kids really that obsessed with the screens these days? Maybe I'm old. But like I said, all I know, movie days when I was in school. The locker was jammed. 3 different kids tried the combo. It wasn't working. A teacher comes up, tries to figure it out, nothing. That's when one sophomore stands there, looks, and says, step aside. He doesn't even glance at the paper that has the combo on it. He just stares at the lock for a second, pulls out a paper clip, and goes to town. Boom. First try, it opens. Oh my god, finally, thank you. That was actually awesome, dude. Now, this was the first day of school, so the hallways were hectic. Everyone trying to get in their lockers. There's books, papers, book bags everywhere. Well, he just turns around and says, anybody else? 5 minutes later, he's walking the halls like some kind of locksmithing expert. He's opening jammed lockers left and right, even helping teachers open their cabinets. Jammed? There you go. Jammed? There you go. He quickly became the locker guy. Turns out his older brother and his dad had their own locksmithing company, so he literally grew up opening locks. No rules broken, no locks damaged, just a nice guy helping people out. And you gotta respect it. Genius. So this kid had leftover candy from Halloween. Suckers, sweets, stuff like that. And at first he brought a little bag to school to share with his friends. But then other kids started asking, yo, let me get a little taste. Do you have that ding dong? More and more kids started asking him for his candy or his treats. So he flips a switch and turned it into a business. He calls it the 25-cent store. Every item's a quarter. Well, he makes about $50 in a week. So he reinvests this money. He goes to the dollar store. He buys bags and bags of candy and brings it back to school. He raises prices and he keeps selling. All right, brand new inventory, but this time it's 75 cents each. But it's worth it, I promise. And still, he sells out. From that batch, he ends up making $144. And he's not done. He still has more product. And he plans to invest this money. But then a teacher comes up to him. Excuse me, why are kids handing you quarters? Hi. That's what I thought. That teacher shut him down. It was over. The thing is, it was a harmless business, and people actually liked this service. Teachers just don't like kids to succeed these days, huh? This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. 1 week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew and some Pokemon cards. 1 week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery, so people would show up, and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him, like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone. Shoes sold. Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down, and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks, until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. This kid missed English class, first period. And he shows up to second period like nothing happened. People were wondering where he was. One of his friends leans in and asked, "Yo, why'd you miss English class? We turned in our essays today." And the kid just goes, "Oh, my cow was giving birth." Oh. He says it like it's the most normal thing ever. He still had mud on his boots, there was like hay coming out of his pockets, and he smelled a little weird. It was probably from that cow birth. People just nodded, like, okay, yeah, farm kid stuff. Okay. And so what if he missed English, you know? His essay wasn't gonna win any awards at the state fair anyway, but his cow might. Huh? Okay. For almost a year, this kid kept reporting the same bully to the office. "He beat me up again." And every single time, the school staff reacted the same way. "Okay, we'll look into it. He's just being dramatic." And this bully was ruthless. Locker shoves, he would slap the books out of his hand. He started rumors about him. Hey, he uses onions as soap. But the school staff kept saying, "We'll keep an eye on it." "I'm not doing nothing." They just weren't taking it seriously. They didn't think he was telling the truth. After a while, "Are you sure you're not misinterpreting things? You keep reporting the same student every day. We need proof." "I don't have proof." "Well, that's too bad." Well, that spring, they installed cameras in the school, all throughout the hallways. The cameras were not installed for bullying. The superintendent just made the decision. Well, the first week the cameras are live, this kid was bullied every day. And at the end of the week, he goes to the office. "It happened again. Every single day this week. He shoved me into the locker, he beat me up, he slapped the books out of my hands. Here we go again, we need proof." "Well, this time you do. Remember? You guys installed cameras in the hallway." "Oh, that's right. They checked the cameras, and they saw it. Every day that kid being bullied by the same bully he said he was being bullied by." And there was an investigation launched. The bully gets suspended for 2 weeks, and the school staff pulls him into the office and apologizes. I mean, finally, but that's still super messed up. This English teacher was super chill. "Okay guys, late homework can be turned in at any time up until the last week of school." Dude, that's awesome. You can turn your homework in up until the last week of school, and I'll take no points off. He figured that this would encourage students to just do their homework at their own pace and do it well. Well, one kid takes advantage of this situation. He doesn't turn in homework all year. Weeks pass, then months. The teacher assumes this kid just dropped the ball and that he's not going to turn it in ever. Until the final week of school. He brings a stack of worksheets and essays to this teacher's desk. And I mean stacks. "Oh, right here you go. Yo, what is this?" "It's late homework. Remember what you said?" "Oh, I also emailed you 6 of the book reports, so those should be in your inbox now." "All right, thanks, teach." I hate my life. So now this teacher, on the last week of school, has to grade a crap ton of homework. It's the last thing he wants to do. Oh, I am never doing this ever again. The next year, "All right, guys, welcome to class. Homework is due when it's due. There is no exceptions for late work." Dang, that kid ruined it for everybody. The craziest senior prank of all time. It's right after graduation. 20 to 30 seniors meet up in the school parking lot, and they're all carrying these giant bags, and in the bags are about 5,000 bouncy balls. You know the ones you throw on the ground and they just shoot straight up? Well, these seniors had already graduated, so they were done with school. They had somebody sneak them in through the school's side door, and during this time, lunch is in full swing. 200 to 300 kids are in this cafeteria. The seniors head up to the balcony that overlooks the cafeteria. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Every single bag is dumped over the railing at once. A rainbow waterfall of bouncy balls falls down and slams to the floor. Instant chaos, because the second they went down, they were coming right back up. It was like a wave of bouncy balls heading towards all these kids eating. It was instant chaos. All the seniors scatter away, and the kids in the cafeteria are going crazy. "What is happening? What is this? I need my mom!" One of the security guards sees one of the seniors running away, and he tackles her. Come here! Ah! He drags her to the office, and she folds immediately, snitches on everybody. Every one of the seniors got a $200 trespassing fine, and they were so mad at her. Well, years later, one of them checked her Facebook page, and guess what she became? A security guard. Yeah, that's no surprise. What a snitch. So this school was doing Spirit Week. You know, Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet. It was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. Hey, nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there? Yeah. Nice outfit, metal boy. Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. What's your problem, dude? Yeah, what's your problem? My foot. One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist. Ow! You're my foot! My foot! My wrist, guys? Guys, my wrist. It's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week, even though he did not touch any of them. He literally just stood there in his knight armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up. She told him to wash the car, and she gave him a bucket and a sponge. You should be all set. All right, I'm on it, Mom. So he goes outside with the bucket and the sponge. He sets the bucket right next to the car. I'm gonna put you right here. Then he goes to the side of the house and grabs the hose. Okay, got the hose. And he begins dragging the hose over to the bucket by the car. All right. But the hose is not long enough. It doesn't reach. Ah, great. So he turns on the water. Fill this bucket up, but how am I gonna do it? Just gonna launch it from here. And he begins spraying the hose and trying to arch it into this water bucket. Come on. But the bucket keeps tipping over. Come on. Not again. He adjusts his stance. He changes the angle of the hose. He's trying to find the best way to fill this bucket. But this kid didn't realize that he could just take the bucket and bring it to the hose and then bring the bucket back to the car. Like, at no point does that enter his brain. His mom's watching him through the window. I raised an idiot. I mean, yeah, kinda. This family thought chairs make you lazy. So they were forced to always stand when they were eating. Breakfast, standing at the counter. Lunch, standing around the island. Dinner, standing around the table with the entire family. And they were supposed to eat fast. They were trying to be efficient, I guess. Once they were done, they would clean their plates and they would move on. Well, this kid grew up this way and he never questioned it. Why would he? That's how he thought meals worked. Then he's at his friend's house for dinner one night. And he's confused. He's standing there. The dad's like, you can sit down, buddy. What are you doing? Okay. So he sits. They talk. They laugh. They linger and they eat their food at their own pace. He's like amazed. You good, bro? Yeah, this is just different. In a good way. He realized that his family was the weird one. Like a lot of these stories, this happens. After dinner, he goes back home and he goes to his room and cries because, what? He's been standing for every single meal, eating as fast as he can, being super stressed out because his parents are crazy. But actually, you can just sit there and enjoy your food and be with people and laugh. For the first time in his life, he was relaxed during a meal, and that meant a lot to him. Now, it's years later, and sometimes when he's stressed, he finds himself standing and eating, but he always tries to breathe, take a seat, and just enjoy those dang potatoes. He graduated 8th grade. I freaking did it. And his school gave him a free meal card for Cane's. I love Cane's. It was his golden ticket. He guarded it like it was a national treasure. But the thing is, whenever he was driving home or to somewhere with his mom, he would always ask, Mom, I'm hungry. Can I please use my Cane's card now? She would say, no, sweetie, because it's only for one Cane's meal. What about your siblings? They'll feel left out. Well, I can use the card and you can pay for their meals. You think I made the money? So the card has lived in his wallet, unused, waiting. Then one day, he goes into his wallet to look at it. It's gone, and he wasn't the one that used it. So now it's a full-blown investigation. He goes downstairs. Where's my Cane's card? Did somebody use my Cane's card? His little sister said, no. But he said in that moment, he began to smell the sauce. So he looks in the garbage can. Cane's box. You? His little sister cracks instantly. I went to a doctor's appointment today, and Mom took me to Cane's. She used her card. She grabbed it out of your wallet last night. His mom came home, and she didn't really have a reason why she did this. This kid was heartbroken. The betrayal was biblical. He didn't talk to his mom for weeks after that. That's messed up, dude. When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there, and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointed side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back in, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up. When she was in 2nd grade, her older sister got glasses, and instantly she wanted a pair of glasses as well. So she told her parents.
I can't see the board at school.
So they take her to the eye doctor. He does a test, and she's pretending like she can't see. 2 minutes in, he says, yeah, she's lying. She can see fine. But her parents still believed her, and they're like, no, you better give her some glasses. He writes a prescription, and just like that, a week later, her glasses are ready. At first, she loved them, even though she couldn't really see in them because, well, she lied during that test. But she loved the frames, she loved the attention she was getting, but she kept wearing them for years. And her eyes kept adjusting to the prescription, and the prescription kept getting stronger and stronger. We'll flash forward 10 years, and now every day, she wears a pair of the thickest glasses because she actually can barely see without them now. And she's pretty sure it's because back in 2nd grade, she lied when taking the eye test, and she ruined her eyesight forever. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. This Spanish teacher had a rule. If you forget your pencil, you would have to borrow one from her supply cup and pay her back with a brand new one the next day. But she would always make sure to embarrass you because of it. Well, 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 look who's unprepared again today. Little baby Kyle boy. All right, here, you can have a pencil, but bring me back a new one. Okay? What's wrong with you? Well, this kid named Marcus shows up to school one day with a bag full of sharpened, brand new pencils. And he would sell them. One pencil, 50 cents. No need to pay the teacher back with a brand new pencil the next day, and no public shaming. So that's kind of a win. Pretty soon it's not just the Spanish class he is selling to. He made little flyers and he passed them around the school. And pretty soon people were texting him, ordering pencils. Whenever they forgot one, he was the guy they would go to. Just 50 cents. Well, it got popular. Business was booming. So he upped his game a little bit. He had a premium package with the highest quality mechanical pencils you could imagine. He bought them in bulk, so they were pretty cheap, and he would charge $2 per mechanical pencil. And people were buying those as well. He was selling out every time. Eventually, Marcus had an incredibly loyal customer base and a bunch of single-dollar bills in a shoebox under his bed. You gotta respect Marcus, and you gotta respect the hustle. This kid and his mom and dad were kayaking one day, and they get home late. They park at the lake house, and they leave the kayak strapped to the top of the car. Nobody thought twice about it. Well, this kid is waking up at 3 in the morning. His dad's creeping into his room. Dad, what's going on? His dad, peeking out the window, says, shh, don't move. The mom then appears, dead serious. Come on. They head downstairs, and the dad gets on the phone with 911.
911, what's your emergency?
And then the front door slams open so hard, the entire house hears it, and the mom's voice blasts. Drop that kayak right now. The kid's peeking through the blinds, and there she is, barefoot, standing in the driveway, holding a large butcher knife, screaming at 3 grown men who are literally trying to steal the kayak from the top of the car. They also have knives. The dad sees this happening, and he freaks out. But hold on, 1 second. Sandy, what are you doing? The mom's out there just slashing this knife around. The 3 thieves freak out, and they run away into the woods. The police finally arrive. So what happened here? Here's a knife. I scared them away. They were trying to steal the kayak. Now talk to my husband. I'm going to bed. And that was that. What a freaking legend. So it was senior prank season. And this one might have been the most beautiful senior prank this school has ever seen. It's the last week of school, and the seniors show up. They've got a ladder, a few backpacks, and they're carrying bags upon bags of something. How much you get? 30 pounds. You're kidding. Nope. 30 pounds of confetti. They sneak into the assembly hall, where the school organ is. Now, the school was about to have an assembly, and for some reason, at every single assembly, the music teacher plays the organ. Now, it's a giant old organ with these large pipes, and these pipes stretch up to the ceiling. With the ladder set up, they climb up, and they start pouring confetti straight down each of the organ's pipes. And not just a little confetti, pounds of it, until pretty much every pipe is stuffed. Well, only one teacher is in on it, and that's the music teacher. He gave them the green light because that old organ was being thrown out anyway. But nobody else knows about this, okay? So, 2 hours later, the whole school is crammed in for this assembly. The principal gives his speech, and then the organist starts playing. Whoosh! A cloud of confetti blasts into the air like fireworks while this beautiful organ music is playing. With each note, another explosion of confetti goes off. And now it's like a blizzard. Students are cheering. They're trying to catch it. It's beautiful! But the teachers are really confused. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? The principal's standing there looking around like the ceiling just collapsed. Meanwhile, the music teacher is just calmly playing the organ while this crazy storm is happening. It's a beautiful sight. By the end, the floor is covered in confetti, the seats are all buried, and the seniors are just looking around like, wow. We did that. And that was it. That organ never played another note, but that prank went down in school history. There was this one sophomore named Gus, and Gus lived right next to the school. And every day he would walk to the school with his pet goose. Not a joke, a real goose. All right, come on, buddy. He would walk and the goose would be strutting right next to his side. The crazy part is this goose was incredibly well behaved, and the teachers loved him. The goose would sit next to Gus in class. Good morning, class. Good morning, goose. Even the principal loved him. But there was one teacher, Mrs. Redmond, who hated the goose. I hate that goose. Didn't trust it, didn't like animals, didn't like students either, but one morning, Mrs. Redmond storms in, looks at the goose and goes, "That's it, this is not a farm, get that goose
off of school property now."
And the goose is just sitting there like, bro, what did I do? And somehow Gus gets a detention, and that's when Gus kind of snapped. So it was a small school, and Gus knew that Mrs. Redmond always stayed late to grade papers or tests, alone in her classroom. So after school, Gus walked home, but before he left, he went into Mrs. Redmond's classroom. She wasn't in there yet. He put Goose in the back of the classroom. So when Mrs. Redmond finally walked into her classroom to grade papers, she sees the goose and she screams. Well, that scared the goose, and the goose freaked out and began pecking the heck out of Mrs. Redmond's face. She didn't come to school the next day, but when she did return, she called for the execution of the goose. But Gus kept the goose safe in a shed in his yard. Unfortunately, Gus didn't bring Goose to school anymore, but Gus got his revenge, and that's all that mattered to him. It's 7th grade, and this kid Lucas brings a bunch of Costco gum to school. Tons of packs. Every single flavor. And he never made a big deal about it, but he would pull them out here and there so that people could see. And naturally, they would ask for a piece of gum. And when they did, 50 cents. Oh, I don't have any money right now. Oh, that's fine. Pay me later. And that was his thing. You know, at first, people were like, he's not going to ask for that money later, you know? It's just a piece of gum. But that's where they were completely wrong. Because after he would give someone a piece of gum and say, pay me later, he would pull out a tiny notebook and write down the debt in that notebook. Everybody had a tab. Their name, their flavor, and how much they owed. But the thing is, he wanted this debt to grow. He would walk up to them. Hey, so you still owe me from last week, but I just got this crazy new watermelon flavor. You want a piece? I'll just put it on your tab. And he just kept stacking debt on top of debt on top of debt. Until finally he decided it was time to collect. He goes to the 2 biggest kids in class. Carl? Mordecai? Yeah. I'll give you 10%. Here's the list. Get me my money. And they would go around school with a list. Hey, you got Lucas's money? I'm here to collect. And these kids were big and intimidating, and people did pay him back. Lucas made like $175 before this whole thing was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. When this kid was 5, his parents convinced him that if he didn't do chores or he didn't help them around the house, the lazy monster would get him and he would die. It's true. Just straight up death. So he goes into survival mode. Every day, whenever he has free time, he's sweeping, dusting, reorganizing, folding laundry, and his parents loved it. They're sitting there chilling and their 6-year-old kid is doing the house chores. And this happens for years. Years later, he's 11 now, tells his friends about the lazy monster. Yeah, I can't hang out because I gotta go wash the bathroom, otherwise the lazy monster is gonna get... His friends are like, what? He explains more. Then his friends say, dude, that's actually crazy that you believe that. Your parents are tricking you, dude. And it clicked. His entire worldview collapses, and he immediately feels like he wasted years of his life. He storms home and he demands his parents tell him why they did this. And all they could say was, "You'll get over it." That's definitely not okay. The school made an announcement. Redesign the school logo and turn it in. The winner's logo gets to be the official logo. Every art kid in the school goes feral. People busted out their iPads, sketchbooks. They're working really hard on trying to create this new school logo. But then there's Evan, Shibby. Evan doesn't care. His friend dared him to make something and turn it in. So Evan designs the dumbest thing that he could think of. A circle with a weird-looking bird inside of it that looks like it's mid-sneeze. That's so dumb. Here, he submits it. A week later, the principal gets on the school intercom. "We have chosen our new school logo. Everyone report to the gym." Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone's eager to see whose logo made it. They did a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then they projected it. It's Evan's frickin' doodle. The bird, the circle, the sneeze. The whole gym goes dead silent. And then everybody erupts. "Oh, bro's a genius. Yo, Evan cooked. Make him class president." Teachers are clapping. They print it out on shirts. It's being sold at the sports games. It's on the website. It's on the gym floor. This logo is everywhere. And Evan becomes an absolute frickin' legend. I'm a frickin' legend.
কিরে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবে। তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা যা। পাল্লাটা ভালো। দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা, হ্যাঁ কথা বলতে পারো না?
জি।
বিয়ান সাহেব, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি।
তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লাগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লাগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না? ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা
বাপ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা। ঠিক আছে মামা, ঠিক মতো যা। শালা পারলাম না রে। আরে তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শোনো, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
তুমি পড়ো, ঘুমাও তাইলে। গুড নাইট আর বাই।
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই, কিন্তু আমগো দোস্ত জিসান কি কম?
ও
ভাবি লাগে বেটা, লজ্জা লাগে না? কি ওর কথা বাদ দে, পারো তুই যা।
জামুই তো।
তুই চুপ থাক।
আমি তো আপনাকে চিনি না।
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা, আরো চিনবা, আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা। আর শুনো, তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লাগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লাগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না? ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা
বাপ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা। ঠিক আছে মামা, ঠিক মতো যা। শালা পারলাম না রে। আরে তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শোনো, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
যাইতে দে আর আমার খালা লাগে কোথায় বলতা ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
জানো না
দারুণ না।
আমি 1 থেকে 3 গুনবো। না বাবা, প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিফারেন্স হবে বাবা, আমার খালি ওরে দরকার।
আমার কাছে জিনের বাচ্চার নাম্বার আছে। জিনের বাচ্চা
করতে চাস নাকি ইটিস পিটিস করতে চাস? বদতমিজ।
হ্যালো বন্ধু,
আমার রোদে দিছস?
এই তো দিছি তো।
ঠিক মতো রোদে দিছস?
কি শুনতে চান? আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি।
ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো?
গলায় দড়ি লাগাই দিছে ভাবি।
গলায় দড়ি দিছি মানে গলায় 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 কেন রেখেছেন আমাকে? কি হয়েছে বলতো?
আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
জিসান, আমার দরজা লাগাই দিছে। কই যায়? কই যা?
ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, ফোনই ধরো না। তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই, কোনো কথা। তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
যা।